Welcome to Deep Thought. People will tell on themselves if you simply listen. I'm going to tell you what, sometimes instead of speaking or listening to people for certain answers, just listen. Get them free, get them comfortable, and just let them talk. That's the best way to find out stuff. That's the best way to find out about anybody. Because if you just get them comfortable enough where they talk freely with you, you'll find out every single thing about them. And it's a very simple way. You just let them talk and listen. And don't listen sometimes, a lot of times, all of us, myself included, have listened to people only looking for the answers we wanted to hear instead of what they are actually saying. Yes, I'm guilty of it. Like I said, I'm climbing up this mountain with y'all. And I don't want y'all to make the same mistake. There were some mistakes I made not listening to a person, not really listening. And I thought about that recently because I said, you know what? These people were telling me something, but I wasn't listening. And they were telling me something about myself, definitely, but also telling about themselves. Like, seriously, people will tell you, you will figure out everything. But see, here's the thing. Like, let me use a great example of relationships. Very often, men and women, when they want a certain person or they want a certain type of relationship, they may just simply just want a relationship. And the person will tell them all about themselves. And they will say, if you listen to them, they'll say some stuff like if a dude is a dog or player. And I've told many women this. I say very often they told you already. Or if a woman is like, she a player herself, a gold digger or something. Very often the woman will tell the guy that, not in those words. See, here's the thing. It's really direct. It's really like, this is what I am. And I think people are looking for that. But when they're talking with people, regardless of what the reason is, they're looking for an answer. But they skipping over what they're actually saying. Because even people who claim to be very direct in their conversation might not say it, or even, they might not tell the person what they want to hear because, they don't know what the person wants to hear. They're just going to talk. So listen to what they're actually saying. Listen to what they're saying. Pay attention. What do they say about politics? What do they say about religion? How often they call any God's name? What's their general conversation about women? What's their general conversation about men? Like if I'm listening to a woman, if I'm talking with a woman, and she here and there throw in some snide remarks about men, or say, yeah, this is all men do this, and she say, oh no, I'm just joking. Yeah, but you made that joke like 3 times. Like the first time they say, like, okay, like you get a woman who's really down on men, who's really undercover misandrist, and she says something. The first time I hear it, I was like, okay, I just put it away. And then I start watching behavior, but then I hear it again, it's like, boom, that's the thing. Or how somebody behaves politically. Now, I say I ain't gonna get into the politics, but you can tell where somebody stands just listening to them. Just listen to them. Like I can always tell generally where somebody stands. I can just listen to them. And that gets deeper into knowing which way they'll go, but you just have to listen, Just listen. And I had mentioned before, my uncle, rest his soul, was a police detective, and specifically burglary. And what he would do, he would catch somebody and he'd get them nice and comfortable. He looked like Billy D. Williams. They called him that. He had that hair, had that process. And he had that process, those almond eyes. He sit there, he's all smiling and everything. He gave my grandmother a picture one time. I call it testimony to conceit. But he'd just get them comfortable, and all of a sudden, the suspect would tell my uncle about crimes he's not even investigating them for. And I learned that from him. Like, I'm that type of person, I just let people talk. And they can say whatever, I don't show a visible reaction, no matter how crazy. Unless, other than if there's a direct insult, and I've gotten plenty of indirect insults, plenty of them. But I don't show any reaction for the indirect ones. Direct ones, you got to say something. But indirect ones, I just sit there and like, okay, I see where you really are. Okay, all right, I see what you really feel about me. Because that's all you have to do. Because most people, I'm gonna tell you what, most people can't monitor their own speech. Most people can't, unless they consciously doing so. But you get them comfortable, the defenses come down, the mask will come down. And they'll give you clues, even with the mask up. People will give you clues. But you gotta listen. You gotta just listen. Don't listen with judgment, just listen. Just listen. See, that's the thing about it. See, like I say, most people, like I said, myself included, you'll listen to people, but you're looking for something specific instead of what they actually saying. So, I had made that mistake before. When I started shifting, I said, no, I'm just going to listen to what they say. And that's something specific, but what they say. Because usually, I ain't going to lie, with me specifically, it was about stroking my ego. I wanted to see what they were going to say about me instead of what they were actually saying. Then when different people would say stuff, then I would listen and start listening, not expecting listening. I was like, well, damn, they are saying something. But that's how they're expressing it, Listen, like little stuff. Pay attention to actions too. But that's the important thing. But you got to see, the key to it is don't show any immediate judgment. Don't show any immediate judgment. Like for the guys, there's a big deal about this whole how many women's body count. A woman could look me dead in the eye and say she slept with 100 men willingly, sometimes 5 a day. Man, I'll just be like, okay. And just keep it going. Just like, I'll be like, okay, yeah, okay, because I'm like, okay. Then when she get comfortable, she probably tell me more. That's how I get, I've said on my other channel, women have told me so much because I just know how to get them comfortable where they start telling on themselves. People will tell you. Shit, they'll tell you their preference, everything. People listen to me. I know I like big round butts. I mean, In fact, what's funny? I'll say this about myself. I wish I had a dime every time some comment creator tried to say somebody in the comments try to figure out something about me, or people have told me straight up they've been trying to figure out stuff about me. And I'll tell you what I'll tell you. I don't say this to the people in the comments, but I say this to people directly. If you just sit back and just pay attention, you see I don't really hide anything. And the only issue with that is what they really saying is I don't fit into any paradigm that they used to. That's another conversation. But I don't really hide anything. Anybody want to know my agenda? All they have to do is pay attention to what I talk about, and they can see it. So just listen. Because people will tell you, they will tell you their agenda, what's important to them, everything. You just sit back and listen. Like I remember having a conversation with someone, a cashier, a brief conversation, and she was talking about some of these dumb reality shows. I was like, oh, okay, I see where your head's at. All right, I'll let it. I mean, it wasn't a big deal, but I was like, okay, that tells me something. Other ways of telling too. I pay attention to a lot of things, but listening tells you a whole lot what they focused on. So anyway, that's all I have for now. Get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.